She got her own house. She got her own house. She got her own house.
Hey family, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about the blue tape walkthrough. So let's talk about it. So if you have been following my channel for a while, you know that I am close to being done with my new construction home. It is now at this point taken about 13 months, but I did have my blue tape walkthrough yesterday. So a blue tape walkthrough normally occurs with new construction homes, and it normally occurs a few weeks before your actual closing date. Mine took place 2 weeks before my closing date because I'm slated to close at the end of this month. Fingers crossed that nothing happens, but so it's where you go in with a representative from the builder and you literally put pieces of blue tape on every single imperfection or issue that you would like addressed by the builder before your final closing and sign off on the home. So I'm going to share with everyone how I prepared for my blue tape walkthrough as well as my experience with my blue tape walkthrough, and I'm going to share a checklist of how you can be sure to inspect every single inch of your home. So in preparing for my blue tape walkthrough, I did pack a little bag here that I took with me, and inside of that bag I packed a microwave safe cup, I packed a box of Kleenex, I packed a copy of my third-party inspection report, I packed a phone charger as well as the base. I packed a notebook and a pen. And not pictured here, I also packed and took with me a 2-step ladder. Now, I will recommend taking a 3-step ladder because I'm not short, but I'm not tall either. I'm 5'5", and I could not see, the little space between the very top of your kitchen cabinets and the ceiling. The 2-step ladder wasn't tall enough for me to see over the top of the cabinets to check for anything. So I would recommend that if you are not tall enough, consider taking a 3-step ladder instead of a 2-step ladder with you. But or if you have very tall ceilings as well, take a 3-step or a 6-foot ladder with you. But yeah, so let me get into exactly what happened. So I showed up around 30 minutes early, and that was just a personal preference because I wanted to take a look around and get a little bit of footage for YouTube. But you guys know that I was just at the house for my third-party inspection, so I kind of already had an idea of different little things that I wanted to point out to them. So, but I just got there a little bit early, even though it wasn't required, just for filming purposes. So I walked in, the builder rep was already waiting for me inside of the home, explained to me what we were going to do today and what today was all about. And also we waited on my realtor to get there. And so once the realtor came, the actual building construction manager showed up as well, just to introduce himself. He didn't stay the entire time. It was just myself, my realtor, and the builder rep, the customer service builder rep. I definitely 100% recommend taking someone else with you. I could not imagine had I shown up there alone, whether you take your realtor, your spouse or partner, your parent, just an extra set of eyes. I wouldn't recommend taking kids just because I personally feel that kids don't really have that much attention to detail. But that's just my personal preference. But I would say take an extra set of eyes with you of people that can spot things that you may miss or that you may not see. So the purpose of the blue tape walkthrough was to give you an introduction to your home. We talked about changing different filters at the house. We talked about how to work the dishwasher and the stove, and how to turn on and off the sprinklers and the breaker box, just different little things like that, just getting you acquainted to your actual home and how things kind of work. They had a box that included an owner's manual, so if I didn't remember something, it was probably included in that manual, hopefully, but I will have access to a customer service rep for the first 12 months that I lived there for any issues or questions that may come up. But we talked about that as well, the warranty and what's covered. And then we proceeded to blue tape everything. So with my particular builder, they actually don't allow the buyer nor their realtor to touch or bring blue tape. It's not allowed. Which when I thought back on the day after I wrapped up the blue tape walkthrough, it went so much slower. Like we probably would have finished an hour and a half sooner had we had access, and by we I mean myself and my realtor, or at least my realtor, like one of us had access to the blue tape. So we were literally like pointing out this, and this, and we had to wait on him to mark every single little thing, and we just had to stand there and couldn't really look at anything else because we were waiting for him to come over to us and point out every single little thing. Okay, so I would say if you have a builder that allows you to bring your own blue tape or mark your stuff yourself, divide and conquer, okay? Divide and conquer. Okay, so in between us marking all of the items, he continued to explain different things as we went into each of the various rooms, that required explanation. This is your thermostat, this is how to work it, and, this is your emergency latch for your garage. A lot of pretty common sense stuff, but he just went over it anyway. And so after that, I had to review everything with him, and then I actually had to sign off on everything that I agreed that needed to be fixed, that he read back to me, because he was taking notes on his little iPad the entire time, in addition to the blue tape. Like, he wrote the major things that needed to be replaced down. So what's going to happen, I'm going to go back for what is considered my final walkthrough next week, where we look to see if they fixed all of the issues or imperfections that we pointed out to them at the blue tape walkthrough this week. So now we're going to go over the checklist that I actually took with me yesterday to ensure that I checked every single thing in my home that I could. You're going to want to turn on and off all of the lights inside and outside of your home. And if they have a string, for a ceiling fan, make sure that you turn them off at the switch as well as at the string. I do have 2 currently non-working light switches at my home that the third-party inspector did uncover. So this is why it is important to turn off and on all indoor and outdoor lights at your home. While you're at the lights, go ahead and turn on and off all of your ceiling fans at the switch and at the string if you do have ceiling fans in your home or outside of your home. Now you're going to also want to open all cabinet doors and all drawers, okay? And when you're opening all of those cabinet drawers, be sure to pull them all the way out as far as they can go and push them all the way back in completely, just to make sure things are really smooth. Now, you also want to get down on your hands and knees and check I don't want to call them the footboards. I don't really know the formal name, but like underneath the little bottom piece of your cabinets where it sits on the floor, because I found multiple scuffs on the bottom of my cabinets that I would not have noticed had I not literally gotten down on my hands and knees. And so we did get that marked for them to go and touch up, obviously. Now, you're also going to want to turn on all of your appliances. I turned on every single burner on my stove. I turned the oven on. I opened the broiler. Opened the broiler because my broiler pan was missing. Thankfully, it was just inside of the oven. So, but I wouldn't have known that had I not opened the broiler down there at the bottom. But open each door to all of your appliances to make sure you're not missing any of your accessories, okay? And so this is why I bought this cup. So as you get to your microwave, put you a little bit of water in a cup, in a microwave safe cup, and put it on about 30 seconds just to see if just to check to make sure that the microwave actually is warming, okay? So I did that, everything checked out. Okay, start your dishwasher. Run you a little bit of a load in a dishwasher. You don't have to have dishes, just turn it on. Just make sure that it starts up and it's spinning, the water's coming in, etc., etc. Now, check for your garbage disposal key. They had stolen mine, and by they said that someone else working on one of the other houses came and took my key. They're gonna have to replace it. So make sure you verify that they do leave you a garbage disposal key while you're checking all of your appliances. So now while you're over at the sink checking on your garbage disposal key, make sure that you flip on your garbage disposal and verify that it works. And then also go ahead and turn on the hot water and make sure that it gets hot. Turn on the cold water and make sure that it gets cold. If you have one of the little sprayers, make sure that it sprays. Pull out the hose. Mine is one of the one pieces where you can just, pull the faucet off and spray. So make sure that you check that. Then put stoppers in the sink and fill up the sinks with water. And after you have filled up the sinks with water, open the cabinet and look underneath the cabinet to verify that nothing is leaking underneath the sink, okay? So you're going to want to do that in both the kitchen and the bathrooms if you have more than one. Fill up all sinks with water, put the stoppers down, and then look underneath to make sure you don't have any. You're also going to want to turn on your AC and your heat. I personally didn't do this step just because I was just with my inspector 2 days ago, and we did the third-party inspection, and I was at the house, and I verified at that time when I was there with him, he actually turned on the heat, so I know that the heat is working. But if you did not do a third-party inspection, definitely turn on your AC and turn on your heat to make sure that they are both working. Now, when you get into the bathroom, you're going to want to flush all of the toilets, okay? Enter the box of Kleenex. You can take a box of tissue if you wanted to. Or a roll of tissue if you wanted to. I just didn't want to walk around with a roll of tissue, so I just opted for the Kleenexes. But just toss a Kleenex in the toilet, flush it, and verify that it goes all the way down the way that it's supposed to, okay? You can just flush it without the Kleenex, but how are you going to verify that what's in the commode actually goes down? So just a little tip, make sure you flush something down the toilet as you're flushing it. Also, lift the top of the toilet bowl off just to make sure you're not missing any components, to make sure everything looks good. One of my friends actually found some hardware for her sink, in her bathroom sink, that they had put inside of the toilet bowl, I guess when they were constructing her bathroom, so that was weird. But definitely make sure you lift the tops of all of the toilet bowls as you're in the bathroom. Turn on the vents, turn on the lights, and turn on the exhaust vents, okay? Everywhere that you have them in your house. Make sure that everything runs and there are no hiccups. You're going to want to close the doors, open the doors, check the locks, unlock it, and then you also want to look inside of the doorknob jamb just to make sure that all of your hardware is there, the knob pieces and the where it connects piece, everything is there, and make sure that it is not sliding or sticking, because I did have a door that did not, actually two doors in my home that does not completely shut. While you're in the bathroom, go ahead and turn on those bathtubs and those showers if you have a standalone shower, just to make sure that everything is properly draining. The hot water works, the cold water works. Check the stoppers inside of the bathtub just to make sure that they can go down and come up the way that they're supposed to. You also want to check for proper caulking around the cabinets, around the tub, around the shower, and point out anything that needs to be caulked, and they'll throw a piece of tape on it. And because this happened to me, I'm going to recommend that you put your faucet handles under a little bit of a stress test. I'll go ahead and insert a picture of when I was with the third-party inspector. They actually turned my faucet handle and it just kept going. It did like a full 360. It's supposed to stop at maybe 90 degrees or so, but it did a full 360 degree. So you would never know that unless you really just try to keep turning it. So make sure that you put your knobs and your handles and everything under a little bit of a stress test to make sure that nothing is broken or loose. As you're making your way throughout the home, be sure that you are tugging on the carpet. Make sure that you are opening the doors and actually looking inside of the doors. This happened to me again. So the back door, the weather stripping, the little rubber pieces that go around and line your door, was actually missing on the inside of the door. So when I open it and I look, it looks fine, but I didn't think to check where it's the door's hinged. So be sure to check completely around the door to make sure that you're not missing any weather stripping, because a piece of mine was missing on the back door and on the garage door inside as well. It was cut, and so they needed to replace the weather stripping on both the garage door and the back door. Now, as you are still making your way around, be sure that you are looking down at where the floors and the baseboards meet so that you can check for any caulking or any scuffs or scrapes. Just make sure you're looking down. I know it's going to be hard to just be stooped over or on your hands and knees crawling. I'm not saying do all that, but just make sure that you're closely walking along your walls and looking down for any imperfections. Now, as you're looking down, you also need to look up, okay? Look up at the ceiling, look up inside the door frames. Another thing happened to me again. So I walked in the closet, I looked up, and then I turned around like as if I were going to walk out of the closet. But before I walked out of the closet, I looked up again, and a piece of the top of my door frame was missing. And I wouldn't have ever noticed that had I just walked in the closet, looked around, walked out, or just walked in and then looked up and then turned around and walked out. So you need to walk in and look up, turn around and look up before you walk out, if that makes any sense. You're going to want to open and close each and every single window in your home. And when you open it, let it stay up for a couple of seconds and hang out just to make sure that it doesn't drop down and close on its own. So I opened and closed every single window. I did not, but I want you to do this, but I am telling you to take your stepladder because I want you to open and close each and every vent in your home. I unfortunately couldn't do it because my stepladder was too short, so I couldn't reach it, but take you a ladder, open and close every single vent in your home. I think it's called, it's not a receiver, but the vents with the little lever that you can, the damper that you can open and close. Make sure that closes and opens smoothly, and make sure that everything is intact there. While you're over at your windows, make sure that you check your blinds. If your house is coming with blinds, make sure that they raise up and raise down or lower down the way that they're supposed to. They open and close the way that they're supposed to. Nothing gets cracked or chipped or bent or anything like that. So make sure that you check each and every individual set of blinds on each and every window that you have the blinds on in your home. So as you're making your way through the home, this is where the phone charger and base will come in. Go ahead and plug in your cell phone, and then make sure that you are plugging your base into each and every top and bottom outlet that you come across throughout the home, making sure that your phone actually starts charging when it's plugged in. Go ahead and check the GFCI, I believe it's called, buttons to make sure that they work. Go ahead and trip it to make sure that your phone stops charging after you trip the circuit or trip the switch. I'm not really sure exactly what it's called, excuse me guys, but go ahead and test those out as well. And if you have outlets both in your garage and outdoors, I'd recommend testing those as well. Once you're outdoors, I'd recommend checking your gate or fence if you have one, making sure that it opens and closes properly, making sure that it is the length that you expected it to be. Make sure that you test your sprinklers. If your home comes with sprinklers, make sure you actually turn those on. Turn on the water outside of your home. Make sure that you check your outdoor water as well. Make sure that your landscaping that you ordered is there and where it is supposed to be. And just make sure you check the overall aesthetic of your home. There was a situation on my home yesterday where I looked up and it was just like sloppy mortar at the very top of my home. And so he said that he's going to get them to come and put some sort of acid that they use and go over it with the wire brush to try to clean it up a little bit. So just make sure that you inspect the craftsmanship of the outside exterior of your home. Of course, turn on any porch lights or garage lights. Open and close your garage if your home comes with a garage. Check out the hot water heater. Check out the garage lights as well. Check out any kind of electrical situation that you may have in your garage. Like I said, I do have outlets out in my garage, so I did check those. If it comes with a security system, if it's plugged up out there, check that. The sprinkler system is out there, at least mine is, so check that. But all of those things outdoors, make sure that you check those as well. If you see anything that looks dirty, let them know to power wash it before closing. They can definitely power wash your home or power wash your driveway or power wash your front and back porch before you close if you request that. If you have an attic or a basement, be sure to check those. Make sure you pull the attic stairs down and pull them out to make sure they come down the way that they're supposed to make sure that the attic door opens and closes the way that it's supposed to. If you have one of the pull downs like I have, I know you may have one that's just a regular open and shut door, but make sure that you go in there, you turn the light on, you look around, and make sure nothing looks suspicious. There isn't any trash in the attic or in the basement that shouldn't be there. If so, point it out. Any cracks down there in your foundation in the basement, make sure to point those out. They'll let you know if it's within the range of them to fill it or if it's just going to have to stay that way. And last but not least, of course, as you're going through checking all of these things, you are going to be checking every single wall, every single door, every single baseboard, every single cabinet, every single shelf for any type of scratches, dents. What they told me yesterday were called boogers. I didn't even know that there was anything that they could do about those things, but you need to make sure that they are aware of those. Any type of poor paint job, any type of discoloration somewhere, any type of missing caulking or missing grout anywhere, you need to point out. Any dings in your cabinet doors, any dings in your bathroom doors, or any dings, anywhere else. Make sure your countertops are looking good. There are no chips anywhere on any of your bathroom or kitchen countertops or sinks or anything like that. Raise up your toilet seat. Let the toilet seat back down to make sure it's properly attached and not broken. So guys, that is going to take a while. My blue tape walkthrough lasted about 3.5 hours. That's why I definitely recommend taking an extra set of eyes with you. It will be even better if you are allowed to get your own blue tape, but my back was hurting bad when I left there just from all of this stooping and sitting and reaching and looking. But yeah, so it is definitely a test of endurance. Take you a bottle of water in your little bag if you don't already have something to drink there, if the builder doesn't give you something to drink. But that is it, guys. I hope that this video was helpful. If I forgot anything, jump down in the comments and let me know what you checked on your blue tape walkthrough that I didn't mention in this video so that you can help us all. But don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video because it takes a village. Cheers.